Before the war started, life was beautiful, and then something happened unpredictable. The German aeroplanes bombed my town 6 o'clock in the morning, and my father said, "We are at war with the Germany. Things might get very bad."
Frank Kustra was born in 1926 in eastern Poland. After his mother died in 1932, his sister went to live in an orphanage, which left him and his brother to live with their father. When he was 13 years old, German and Soviet troops invaded his country and small town. While his father fled, Frank and his brother found themselves taken by the Soviet soldiers to join the youth group in Siberia. Taken by train, it was upon this journey where Frank had his first experiences with the terrors of war and showed his natural leadership.
Things stink in here. There's 40 people. They won't let us go to the toilet. There is only a hole in the floor. And then another problem was a couple of those children halfway die. So I said to the Russian, "There's 2 dead children in the wagon. What do we do with them?" He says, "Well, I don't know. Maybe when the train leaves and you are in the open field, throw them out." So they decided to collect the dead one. We didn't have to throw them. It was terrible. We were shocked. He just said, "You open the door, you throw them."
Frank did not end up in Siberia. Instead, him and his brother ended up in Kazakhstan, where he lived on the streets, eating dogs, cats, and if he was lucky, snakes. With the help from a Russian woman, they were able to jump on a train and find the Polish army. From there, the 15-year-old Frank and his brother lied about their ages so they could enlist. Unfortunately, Frank's brother contracted typhus, and Frank had to leave him behind. Frank made his way to Gaza, where he went to school. While he was there, his brother's condition got worse, and sadly, Frank was informed that his brother had passed away.
"Frank, why are you crying?" I said, I'm happy here eating ice cream, dancing with that beautiful girl. Where is my brother? Where is he? And a couple of weeks later, they come into the camp, brought this photo, and he says, "Your brother is dead. He died." Wow. I knew he wasn't well.
Heartbroken over his brother's passing, he stayed in Gaza, where he was befriended by Australians and helped them in their battles.
This Australian were sitting in there. "Frank, come over here. You're the only Poe in the hospital. What the heck? How did you get to Cairo from Warsaw?" I told them, I said, I came here through back way through Siberia, and from Siberia. "What were you doing in Siberia?" I said, "The Russians, when they came to Poland, and they sent me and my brother to Siberia." "And how did you survive? It's a terrible place." I said, we ate cats, dogs, and snakes. And one Australian patted me on the back. He said, "Frank, when this war is over, come to Australia. You will have a bow. We got plenty of dogs. Here we give you our addresses. When you come to Australia when this war is over and you survive, look us up." The British soldiers were our friends, but the Australian soldiers were like our brothers.
After a large battle in Monte Cassino, he saw his last few moments of the Second World War. When the war ended in 1945, Frank couldn't travel back to Poland as he was seen as a traitor for his actions during the war. He instead went to England and lived in a refugee camp until 1948, when Australia was asking for refugees to come to Australia to work.
Australia had a problem with migrants, and the Prime Minister of Australia knew that they're going to build the Warragamba Dam, Snowy River project. He says, "We need to bring those poles in before they go somewhere else. And the British was telling us the war is over, why don't you go to Poland, rebuild Poland? I said, I can't rebuild Poland. My home is not in Poland anymore.
Frank made his way to Australia, where he worked on the Snowy Hider project. After he finally had some money to his name, he then set out wanting to find his friends with the addresses he had taken all those years ago.
I went to that address that he gave me, knocked at the door, and the lady opened the door. I said, I'm looking for my friend that I met in Tobruk in Africa. Frank? I said, yes, Frank. And he gave me a job. He even sold me a car because Holden wasn't made, and I worked for him. And after a while, he says, you're a good worker, Frank, we're gonna make you a partner.
After he found his friends, Frank went on to start a family with his Scottish wife. And as he continued to live in Australia, he fell more in love with the country and the people.
Australians are funny people, you know. I had my 90th birthday, and they bought me double vodka and say to me, happy birthday, Frank, you old Polish bastard.
Frank ended up having 2 sons and 1 daughter, and he passed on to them the same resilience he still has and made sure to share his heritage with them.
We're so grateful that we live here. It's like he had a drive to provide for his family, and that's why I think he's always appreciated living here, because he had that opportunity to do that. Whereas maybe in Poland you don't know.
Frank loves his life in Australia. He is now only one of 2 Polish veterans that are left from the war, and so every Anzac Day he marches with the Australian troops, proud of his home. He still has a beer every now and then, like a true Aussie.